NFL free agency has turned into an exciting market for quarterbacks nearly every single offseason. Back in 2012, when Peyton Manning and the Colts had their divorce and he became a free agent and eventually signed and saved the Broncos, it felt like we were watching a once-in-a-20-year type event. Sure, it had happened with Brett Favre in 2008, but Favre wasn't the dude anymore, and he only had one good season post leaving Green Bay. Honestly, the NFL should have kept Favre employed for another decade so he wouldn't have stolen money from poor people. Allegedly. Manning was a Hall of Fame quarterback and switched teams. He had back-to-back MVP seasons in 08 and 09. That was rare. He became the first quarterback to win Super Bowls with two different teams, and now that this quarterback free agency door has been opened, it's never getting closed again. And a quick note, I'm gonna be live tonight streaming during the NFL Honors, so come hang out and we will find out live if Tom Grossi wins Fan of the Year. So come watch along, and yes, in the spirit of Grossi, we're also gonna do it as a fundraiser to raise some money for charity. Now, 2024 doesn't have quite the same sex appeal as Tom Brady joining the Buccaneers or Matthew Stafford getting traded from Detroit to shirtless Sean McVay, but we do have the always polarizing Russell Wilson, a former #1 overall draft pick, and another first-round QB who could all be on the move. We also have a really intriguing quarterback draft class with a massive question mark at pick #1. So today, I'm going to reveal the secrets of this QB free agency period and predict the most likely moves with Josh Allen type accuracy. Rookie Josh Allen. That's good. Free agency? Today's episode is sponsored by Surfshark, not to be confused with Jumping the Shark, which this show did long ago. Surfshark is a VPN that keeps your online identity safe, like a top 5 offensive line, except you're the quarterback. VPNs, of course, encrypt all of the information sent between your device and the internet. With Surfshark, you can change your virtual location, which currently might be useful if you're in a country that say, I don't know, won't let you view the biggest football game of the year due to being geo-restricted. Besides the virtual location being beneficial to your viewing needs for football or, say, Netflix, you can browse the internet with confidence knowing your online data is encrypted. A VPN makes sure your download history isn't linked to your identity, and Surfshark's Clean Web feature blocks ads, malware, trackers, and phishing attempts while also never monitoring, tracking, or storing what you do online. It's a great way to protect your online information, which I think it's safe to say this internet thing isn't going away, guys. Okay, I think it's here to stay. So why would you do it unsafely? Right now, click my link below and use my code THATSGOOD to get an extra 3 months to try Surfshark for free. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Surfshark, linked below. Protect yourself. Quarterbacks who could be free agents once the new league year starts on March 13th include Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, and Jacoby Brissett. Jimmy Garoppolo could be cut or released. Sam Darnold, Ryan Tannehill, and Drew Lock could all be the second tier available guys. And then the ultimate wild card, Joe Flacco, which Cleveland would be smart to sign as their full-time backup for the 2024 season. We've also got former 11th overall pick Bears quarterback Justin Fields, who could be traded, and the top 3 rookies in the draft, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, and Jaden Daniels. Drake Maye is the hardest quarterback to research right now because every time I Google Drake's arm, I just keep seeing a video of Drake's long dick on a bed. Third arm indeed, but I'm trying to learn about a UNC quarterback, internet. Now, the teams who will be interested in a QB are the Bears picking first overall, the Commanders at 2, and the Patriots drafting at 3. The Bears would not be interested if they weren't picking at number 1 overall, but the Panthers suck that bad. The Giants are a wild card, drafting at spot 6. The Falcons need a QB at 8. Then it's the Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders picking 11 through 13. Possibly the Steelers interested at 20, and the Buccaneers at 26, depending on what happens with Baker Mayfield. Actually, let's just start with Baker Mayfield. He played for $4 million last season and overachieved on that deal significantly. Even running backs looked at Baker's salary and were like, oh, yuck. Baker's not a perfect QB, all right? But he's the best blue-collar quarterback in the league. He's the Ron White of QBs. As a Broncos fan, I see Baker as an upgrade over Russell Wilson. Jesus Christ, football changes fast, doesn't it? I fully expect the Buccaneers to sign Baker to a 2 to 3 year deal, somewhere in between what we saw the Giants do with Dan Jones and the Seahawks do with Geno Smith. Again, 2 quarterbacks I think Baker's actually a little bit better than. Baker threw 28 touchdowns, just 10 picks and 4,000 yards. Statistically, it was his best season. You also need to factor Baker's loyalty into the equation. This man has been passed around by as many NFL stadiums as Tom Grossi. Again, streaming NFL honors tonight. Come back. Tampa gave him a chance, and while he needs to get paid, I really believe he wants to return, and he will take a deal that is truly fair to him and the team. The Bucs can use their franchise tag on Mike Evans or Antoine Winfield Jr., 2 key pieces to their success moving forward. Here's what's crazy though, Mike Evans had more receiving yards with Baker than he ever did with Tom Brady. We expected Evans to be traded mid-season before the deadline, but I think he comes back and rocks with Baker. Baker's teammates love him. The X factor in Tampa, of course, is that their offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, left for the head coaching job in Carolina. Canales isn't just devastatingly handsome, he helped get the most out of Baker. I think Canales' mentorship was a huge part of Baker's growth. It was great to pair a man who overcame porn addiction with a public masturbator. Now Baker stays in Tampa. Moving on to another man who isn't going anywhere, Kirk Cousins. Put simply, the Vikings would be fucking morons to not bring Kirko back, okay? If there's any question about what they should do, they can point to Washington's QB situation since 2018. If you have a Kirk, you keep a Kirk. And for the first time in his career, he's put it out there that he's willing to play on a team-friendly contract. He doesn't need that much money after signing a lifetime deal with Coles. They're going to need a team-friendly deal for Kirk to pay Justin Jefferson what he's worth, especially after his comments during Super Bowl week. Cousins was on pace for close to 5,000 yards, 40 passing touchdowns before he went down with an Achilles tear. Minnesota saw what life is like without Cousins this last season, and I expect them to hold a family reunion and marry their cousin, the way it should be. Now we've got 2 possible free agent quarterbacks returning to their current team. Boring. Get to the sexy shit, Perna. Titillate us, please, Perna. Okay, here we go, Justin Fields. Titillating. I believe Justin Fields will be traded. The Chicago Bears have the first overall pick for the second time in 2 years, and this time they will draft the quarterback everyone thinks has the talent to be the next Josh Allen. I'd say Mahomes, but fuck off. Let's not pretend like patties grow on trees. Trust me, Andy Reid has tried. Also, there's a success formula in the NFL where teams go all in on their rosters with quarterbacks on rookie deals. Justin Fields is a year away from getting paid. I have no idea how Caleb Williams will pan out in the NFL, but Fields on a fat contract isn't better than Caleb on a rookie deal. The Bears also have the 9th pick in the draft, so not only can they draft Caleb Williams, they can immediately select a top-flight receiver or tackle, 2 deep positional groups in this draft to help him. Hell, they could trade back if, say, the Raiders want to jump the Broncos to get a QB in this draft. Having 2 top 10 picks is a luxury. Only Saudi princes know, and the Bears are in that spot. Which team would view Justin Fields as an upgrade? Several, in my opinion. The Giants, Falcons, Raiders, and hell, my wildcard team, the Seattle Seahawks. The only team that won't is my Denver Broncos. Fields' skill set most closely resembles that of Lamar Jackson, and new Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald, albeit a defensive guy, just watched Lamar get his team to the championship game. The crazy thing nobody's discussing is this is Seattle's out year for Geno Smith and his contract, and Geno would be a great ad for a team drafting a rookie QB they don't want to start right away, which certainly could be Seattle. Michael Penix, you're a Seahawk. Now, personally, I want to see Justin Fields go to Seattle because I like to fit for him. But that's just me, wilding. Just kidding, I would never say wilding. Now, Seattle doesn't have a second-round pick, and I think giving away the 16th pick for Fields is too much. A team that's definitely interested in Justin Fields is the Raiders. Hell, ESPN is projecting Field to the Raiders. After Cliff Kingsbury left the Raiders at the altar, presumably with Elvis officiating, they landed on Luke Getsy as their offensive coordinator, who just coached Fields in Chicago. And their GM, Champ Kelly, was in Chicago when the team drafted Justin Fields. If Fields and Getsy like working together, then this is a slam dunk move for the Raiders. But I don't know if they do. It's not like they were a perfect pair on the field in Chicago. If the Raiders don't show interest, it would tell me a lot about Fields as a player. If Fields doesn't show interest in the Raiders, it would tell me a lot about the Raiders. Antonio Pierce is also very high on Heisman winner LSU QB Jaden Daniels. He liked a photo of Jaden from a woman named Sella saying Daniels wanted to come to the dark side. More importantly, they were both together at Arizona State. So those types of connections are important. The problem is the Raiders need to move up in the draft to get Jaden Daniels. They need to make a huge deal with Washington or New England, and those deals would be expensive. And I doubt either of those teams actually want to move out of those top 3 picks. Justin Fields going to Las Vegas truly depends on another team, the Atlanta Falcons. If the Falcons want Justin Fields, they're a more appealing destination for a quarterback. Better offensive line, better and younger weapons. Sure, the Raiders have Devontae Adams, but who knows if he stays there. The pull into the Aaron Rodgers orbit might be too strong for Adams. And after adding new head coach Raheem Morris, the Falcons are now a player's destination. Dudes fucking love Raheem. So the question becomes, Justin Fields or Russell Wilson in Atlanta? I think Atlanta would prefer Justin Fields based on age, skill set, and ceiling. Fields is also originally from Georgia and spent a year as a Bulldog, so there's probably an appeal for being back home. Don't get me wrong, I've said numerous times Russell Wilson would be a nice fit for the Falcons as well, especially because all of their receivers are tall, and he can see them from behind the line of scrimmage. That's a joke, but not really. When will teams learn that the best way to win with Russell Wilson is to assemble the greatest group of sub-6-foot offensive linemen in the NFL? Probably after I just told them. Now, what this boils down to is if the Raiders, who Russ has also been linked to, actually have any interest in Russell Wilson. I don't think they really do, which means they could be more aggressive than the Falcons in pursuing Justin Fields. I mean, they've beat him 4 times in a row, which means the Raiders could be more aggressive than the Falcons in pursuing Justin Fields. My gut is telling me Justin Fields actually lands in Atlanta. That's where I think he's gonna go, but fuck it, I'm gonna put Fields in Las Vegas because of all his connections there, and because the Raiders don't have the ammo to move up to get Jaden Daniels. The Raiders do have one more pick than Denver, a 2nd-round pick to be exact, which means the Sean Payton trade could be the difference in which teams get to move up for their top-tier QB if both are vying to get into the top 3. So that leaves Atlanta as the most sensible suitor for Russell Wilson, who is appealing financially because the Broncos will continue to pay Russ for the next 2 seasons. He'll essentially be as cheap as a rookie, if not cheaper. The Broncos will release Russell Wilson with the post-June 1st designation after several attempts to trade him fail. The only thing I know for certain is that if something good can happen to my team, it most assuredly will not. 2 other QBs will also be free agents, Gardner Minshew.
It's slime time! Yeah!
And Jacoby Brissett. The only bridge QB I would actually be cool with here in Denver is Gardner Minshew.
Thank you.
I'd rather rock with him for a year than Jarrett Stidham, which means he 100% signs back with the Colts.
Raisins and cookies should be banned forever.
Chocolate chips are better, and people get confused.
Because he and Shane Steichen get along, and Minshew is a great insurance policy for Anthony Richardson heading into year 2. New Commanders general manager Nick Adams trades Sam Howell to the Buccaneers to sit behind his doppelganger Baker Mayfield. Did I say Nick Adams? If he were the GM, they'd already be the Redskins again. I mean another double first name dude, Adam Peters. All right, the Patriots will actually draft Jaden Daniels, who will immediately be faced with the worst group of wide receivers than he had at LSU. Daniels actually made 2023 Patriots 6th rounder Keyshawn Bout look good at LSU, but Bout was just arrested for illegal gambling while in Louisiana. He made 8,900 wagers while he was 20 years old, but the one thing he should have bet on, the under on his receptions last year, which leaves the Denver Broncos giving up a late round pick for fucking Mac Jones, who Sean Payton reportedly loved in the 2021 draft. You know that the draft is a crapshoot because you can have the same coach fall in love with Patrick Mahomes and also Mac Jones. I'd prefer the Broncos just mend fences with Russell Wilson, draft whichever second-tier QB they like, and sit him, even if that's J.J. McCarthy behind Russ for a year and possibly change. Not happening. I'd love an aggressive trade up from one of the top dogs. Not happening. I'd be okay with Justin Fields in Denver. Not happening. I'd be okay with Gardner Minshew or Sam Howell. Not fucking happening. I'm getting Mac Jones and I'm gonna deal with it. Oh yeah, Sam Howell will be up for trade, once Washington drafts Drake Maye. I joked about him going to Tampa, but I don't know where he lands, okay? So in conclusion, here's how the free agency and QB draft shakes out. The Raiders land Justin Fields in a trade, giving Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco a QB to build around. Russ signs a disgustingly nauseating team-friendly deal with the Falcons while the Broncos are on the hook paying him $85 million over the next 2 seasons. He beats Denver in the regular season next year, wins a playoff game with the Falcons while the Broncos miss the postseason altogether. That's what I believe. Baker and Cousins stay in Tampa and Minnesota. Jacoby Brissett goes home to New England to mentor Jaden Daniels. Washington gets the next CJ Stroud and Drake Maye, and the Bears win the QB lottery with Caleb Williams at number 1. And if Jackson Smith and Jigba's glowing endorsement of new Bears OC Shane Waldron means anything.
Shane Waldron, what can you tell him about who they just hired to try to get this offense where it needs to go?
This is live?
Yeah, we're not live.
I'm playing.
It should be another great year of offense in Chicago. Damn, I can't believe I just got all of that right. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here and don't forget to come back tonight during NFL Honors so we can see if Tom Grossi does win Fan of the Year. It will be fun. Let's watch together.